The Matrix is a science fiction action film released on the 31st of March 1999. Written and directed by the Wachowskis, the film explores a futuristic alternative world where artificial intelligence is taking over and humankind exists in a matrix, an illusion of what reality really is. Being so advanced for its time, the film employs specific elements like choreographed fight sequences and philosophical questions about reality which have been responsible for the reasons why the film has been so celebrated amongst film critics and film lovers. These techniques have then been embraced by films after it, making The Matrix the starting point by which these techniques were not created, but rather made popular and celebrated.
I know Kung Fu.
Chinese stunt choreographer Yuen Woo-ping is responsible for the choreographed fight scene sequences that The Matrix is known for. Much to the director's discretion, Woo-ping insisted on 6 months training with stunt workers and actors to ensure fight scenes look not only spectacular, but how an action film is expected to look. This changed the way that stunt and fight scenes worked, as before The Matrix, only actors who could fight were cast in such films. Now it is common for actors to train for months prior to film trying to get into shape and learn the skills required to master a role. Other films that have followed in Woo-ping's way, not only with intensive training, but also choreographed fights include Kill Bill, where actors were trained excessively prior to film using real swords and weapons in the fight scenes. This not only makes the scenes more spectacular using real props, but more realistic when it comes to the actors' emotions and feelings captured on camera. Along with choreographed fight sequences, we also see the use of slow motion in these scenes that adds to the overall intensity of the situation taking place. This technique is used to position audience members to see characters as defying human strength and defying time and space. The famous bullet scene is a very strong example of this, where Neo defies not only the character's expectations of his abilities, but defies physics existing outside of time and space. We see other films copying this similar technique in order to add rhythm to their fight and highlight spectacular moments that portray protagonists as unhuman-like and almost superhero-like. Shrek also uses this technique, and although it is making a mockery of action films in particular, it is still effective in context of the fight scene and hilarious in regards to the comedic genre. We also see unrealistic movement of characters defying gravity and jumping higher than humanly possible in each of these films, which seems to also pose another technique used in fighting scenes, more specifically action films, thanks to that of The Matrix. In saying this, martial arts has always been a popular choice of fight used in action films based on its specialized techniques and precise movement that makes it look so good when watched. We see this in the Karate Kid films employing that traditional martial arts movement, yet there is nothing spectacular to the scene except for the martial arts fighting itself. We see no slow motion elephants and no unhuman-like movement. All emphasis is on the fighting and no other special effects. The Matrix is responsible for popularizing such changes, embracing emphasized slow motion and emphasized human movement that has shaped the way action fight scenes are required to look like and more precisely expected to look like, paving the way to a successful action film.
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
Moving away from fight scenes, The Matrix is known for the philosophical questions it asks about reality. It gives rise to the understanding behind déjà vu and makes one question whether they are dreaming or living in reality. This gives the film a greater level of meaning, making it not just a fast-paced action film, but one with meaning and morals that positions the audience members to not only be fascinated by the action, but encouraged to wonder and think about their own life and their own reality. Other films have captured this idea and used it in their own way. Inception, for example, has strongly drawn from the works of The Matrix through its use of different dimensions and being able to access different levels of a dream state.
Inception's not about being specific. When we get inside his mind, we're gonna have to work with what we find.
The two films are very similar in the philosophical questions that they ask, and therefore, there's no doubt The Matrix had an influence on the creation of Inception. The idea of artificial intelligence is a very powerful philosophical statement that The Matrix seems to explore. It is very powerful due to the time in which we are in, with a society driven by technology and an artificial intelligence that is very much present around us in this time. We have computers and robots, all with the capacity to do things that humans cannot master, which makes one wonder if the ideas The Matrix is putting forth could potentially be our future. After The Matrix, we have films such as I, Robot, which depicts a society by which robots are trying to take over, just like The Matrix displays.
Oh, hell no!
We can see that The Matrix has clearly had an effect on the way in which fight scenes are constructed and portrayed in action films. We also see how The Matrix has influenced films with its philosophical questions and perception of reality. And we also see how The Matrix has influenced future creation of films exploring the idea of artificial intelligence taking over Earth as we know it. The Matrix is a very successful film that has influenced multiple films after in regards to the three ideas discussed. It has changed the way we perceive fight scenes, changed the way we think about reality, and changed the way the development of technology is viewed. The Matrix is not only influential, but also inspirational and should continue to be celebrated as the film that was so advanced for its time.